Listen to me good, because it's going to be a lot of information coming at you fast, but it's super important that everybody in the United States hear this. You could download it, you could share it, you don't need to tag me. It is just information that you guys need. When the big, beautiful bill was signed into legislation via Congress, it allocated $170 billion. That's already happened to ICE, to the Department of Homeland Security. There is another bill that Congress is about to pass for another $28 billion to go to the FBI as well as ICE. ICE now has the largest law enforcement budget. It is larger than all law enforcement agencies combined. Okay? Why are they funneling them so much money? They are building their own private prison system. This is already underway. It is already being done. It is overseen by the FBI. They don't answer to the judges. They don't answer to anybody but the President of the United States. So the President of the United States of America will have his own prison system. It is an industrial prison system. He profits off of people being in jail, okay? That's how the American prison system has always worked. ICE agents are able to act with full impunity, and they are going to get paid for imprisoning you. ICE agents are also being trained by the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Forces. The IDF is the Israeli army that is responsible for committing the genocide against Palestine. I'll let you fall down the rabbit hole and watch all of the footage of all of the horror they are inflicting upon the Palestinian people. But these are the people responsible for training ICE in crowd responses. So ICE's job is to specifically antagonize the American citizens so that they can act with full impunity, whether it's murdering them or imprisoning them. If they murder you, then they get rid of what they would consider a dissenter. If they imprison you, then they have a slave to make money off of. Either way, your interactions with ICE guarantee that the president makes more profit off of the citizens of the United States of America, and the most cruelest army we have seen in modern history is the one responsible for training ICE, but it doesn't stop there. Larry Ellison and Peter Thiel are American billionaires who are Israeli Zionists. They are outwardly donating money to the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. They are in support of Israel and the current genocide happening to Palestine. These are American billionaires, and they are billionaires by way of developing AI surveillance software. Currently, Israel and the IDF are using this AI surveillance software to help implement the genocide. It's also used in the United Kingdom for their digital ID, and ICE agents are already illegally using AI surveillance software provided to them by Israeli Zionists. All of this is intertwined. And if you're just new to this, Peter Thiel is also currently investing in offshore AI equipment that will mine minerals and gold in Greenland, anticipating the president is going to invade. So all of this is undoubtedly for the profit of the ruling billionaire class. What does that mean if you're a Trump supporter? It means this has fuck all to do with immigration. What does this mean if you're not a Trump supporter? It means that as an activist or even just a liberal, you are a dissenter. You are a target, and they very much have the surveillance software they need to determine who you are, where you live, and furthermore, target you. Now, I know a lot of you gung-ho Republicans are thinking, well, the army is going to come and save the American people. No, it's not. The Secretary of the Department of Defense is a man by the name of Steven Feinberg. Steven Feinberg is a Zionist. Steven Feinberg owns the second largest bank in Israel. Steven Feinberg owns an American company. He is a billionaire. It is called Capital Management. Capital Management's sole purpose is to provide privatized military contracts to the United States Department of Defense, which he is the secretary of. It's also massively important that we remind Americans they just failed their financial audit and can account for $506 billion of American taxpayer money that was budgeted to the Department of Defense. Why am I saying all of this? It's more likely that the Army would pair with the FBI, ICE, and IDF to further oppress citizens of the United States. They have made it very well known via Project 25 and Project 26 that they intend on getting rid of 100 million Americans. 100 million Americans is roughly 1/3 of the population in the United States of America. These people are now financed to commit a genocide, capable and willing to commit a genocide, and are operating with the backing, training, and also planning of people who are actively committing a genocide. There has never been a greater risk for the genocide of the citizens of the United States of America than there is at present. It does not matter what your political affiliation is. When AI surveillance kicks in, you will not have free speech. You will not have the constitutional right to peaceful assembly. You will not have the right to bear arms. You will not have freedom of press. And you will not have taxation with representation, because they are adamantly and vigorously funding a police authoritarian state while you don't have health care, while you don't have FEMA relief, while your children's Department of Education for the entire United States of a whole was defunded and funneled into the Department of Labor. They are intentionally letting you know that you and your children will be slaves if you are a Trump loyalist with none of your constitutional rights. And that is the best case scenario for those of you who have white skin in the United States of America. For the rest of everybody else, whether you're an activist, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a minority, whether you're a woman, whether you're a migrant or an illegal migrant, you are a person of interest, and you are undoubtedly under attack, and the war they have declared is on you. I said it before yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today. The President of the United States of America has declared war on the citizens of the United States of America. Minneapolis is a very small example of what is to come for every city in the United States, especially now that they have the budgeting that they need, and they are already A, ramping up operations, B, ramping up recruitment, and C, building their privatized prison facility. You have two options right now. You either fight for your freedom or you leave. It is officially fight or flight time in the United States of America. Do with this information what you will, but first and foremost, I genuinely hope you spread it. Listen to me good, because it's going to be a lot of information coming at you fast, but it's super important that everybody in the United States hear this.
Dozens of vehicles marked with ICE decals are currently parked in a lot in Kansas City's Northland, next to Worlds of Fun. The Star spoke to Jonathan Duncan, the KC City Council member who oversees that area of the Northland. He said that the cars are not part of any planned immigration enforcement operation. They're there because Holman Automotive, a local company, was contracted to put the decals on the vehicles, Duncan said. The lot where the vehicles are parked is a common staging area used by surrounding businesses, he said. Read more of our reporting at the link in our bio or kansascity.com.
All right. Shalom Makim. This is your brother Amawan Ariala with the GMS Miami Heroes Camp. First and foremost, before we begin, I definitely want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim doing the work in truth and in sincerity across the four corners of the earth. All right, back at you with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying through spirit and power. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And, just wanted to bring out some current events in regards to what's currently going on. I seen the video, man. We are currently in the time of Jacob's trouble, pursuant to Jeremiah 37. Okay, a time like never before. And, this devil, man, he's coming down with great wrath. Okay, scripture says that he has but a short time. And we see it because he's, these things, these laws that he's passing, they're coming with the swiftness, man. Okay. Let me grab this precept real quick. All right, it's the book of Revelations 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time." Okay, all these different projects and agendas and all these different accomplishments that they hope to have been done by a certain year, 2030, 2025. All right. Esau knows that he has but a short time. Okay. And what he's trying to do, he's trying to fight for his power. He's trying to fight to maintain his kingdom, but his kingdom is falling. All right. Babylon is falling, and the Lord is the one that's doing it. Okay. All these different draconian laws, and they're going to be worse, more draconian laws that are going to come out. Okay. He's not sparing anything. All right, he's going for the gusto. So real quick, wanted to bring out the book of 2 Esdras 15. It says, "Woe to the world, and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." And right now we're seeing the ICE agents and the protesters, right? Which pretty much they're Americans, Egyptians against Egyptians. Okay, and they're protesting against the violence and the procedures that ICE is taking against their own citizens. All right, it's no longer about the Latinos and the northern tribe. It's all about Esau asserting his dominance amongst his own people. All right, and Americans are not going to take that shit lying down, even though right now there should be more of an uproar about what's going on, because this is happening to American citizens, man. Okay, but these people are not going to take it for much longer. All right, because they trust they put their faith in their government. Okay, the majority of the people here, and they the majority of these Americans believe in white supremacy, man. They want their country back. MAGA, make America great again. And when was America ever great? Is when the Negro, Latino, Native Americans was under subjection, all right, under the foot of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, all right, and they want to be able to go back to those golden ages and have that power, but they cannot, all right. Things are already been put in motion where the Lord is now putting a spirit on, on Esau's own people to rebel against him, okay. So in verse 16 it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right. Pretty soon these people are going to start going out there and, taking, action on their own. They're not going to, wait for any official to pass down judgment, because the courts have given, Esau, Edom, through ICE, permission to do what they're doing. All right, we saw how that Edomite chick got shot, and the vice president says that there's going to be immunity for the guy that did it. So they're backing up the violence, man. Okay, they're not going to spare anyone, and this is just a prelude to what they're about to do to you so-called Black Americans here in America. You're not safe. All right, you third, fourth generation, immigrants. You're not safe. And they're talking about everybody needs to have a passport in order for them to be, considered a citizen. A real ID is no longer going to be valid enough for you to say, well, I'm American, and show your ID. No. All right, you're going to need more than that to show that, you were born in this country, or that you're a citizen of the, the United States. Okay, but the Lord did predict this, man. He did say that these things were going to happen. Like, the closer that he comes back, the closer the time approaches for the coming of the Lord, the worse these things are going to get. All right, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men," which is an uprising of the people. Okay, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings. Right, they're going to be invading. People are going to be invading one another, man. Especially when the famine hits. Oh Lord. All right, you're going to have people running into other people's houses because they know they have food. They're watching, and they're waiting to see when you're not home, or when you're home, or when you're vulnerable, most vulnerable, to come in and take what you got. But right now we're starting to see the prelude of what is about to happen. Esau, Edom, is getting ready to bring his fierce anger upon all the people of the land, man. All right, but these are tall, clear signs of what the Lord is about to do pretty soon. Okay? It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, Houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's the spirit that's going out right now. People are afraid to come outside their house. All right, people are afraid to take their kids to school because they think, hey, if they were to do that, ICE might roll up on them and take them into custody, and then there goes the children, there goes the mother, the father. All right, people are afraid right now. The beginning of Jacob's trouble. Okay. So, we're just bringing it out, and, we're warning the people as to what the Lord's about to do. Let's see here. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 51 and 46. Okay, the book of Jeremiah 51 and 46, just showing how things are going to escalate and they're going to get worse. Okay, they're not going to get any better. Okay, and if you are wise, you will hide yourself in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. You will hide yourself in His truth to escape judgment. Bear with me for a little bit. All right, it's the book of Jeremiah 51, starting in verse 45. It says, "My people, go ye out in the midst of her," right? Talking about Babylon. "And deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord," right? Because this is what's happening. The people in disarray and all these different ICE agents raiding these homes. That's the Lord putting the spirit on these men to do these things, man. Remember, at the hearts of the kings are in the hands of the Lord. All right, the Lord is the one that's controlling and putting the spirit on these different, leaders to come against Jake, man. To come against, because judgment shall start at the house of the Lord. Especially with the ones that know that they're Israelites. But judgment is coming to you Israelites, man. All right, because you have gone against the Heavenly Father, you have violated His laws. So He's bringing that pressure to you, man. Okay. It says, "My people, go ye out in the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord. And lest your heart be faint, and you fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that another year shall come a rumor and violence in the land. Violence in the land. Ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and her slain shall fall in the midst of her. The heaven and the earth and all therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord." All right, so the Lord is coming to, hey, fuck shit up, man. There's going to be trouble and violence in the land. These things are not going to get better. Okay, I have an article here that shows how Esau is going. They've given these ICE agents, the power to just bust into your crib without no permission, without no warrant, man. All right, Lord, I'm able to put the link inside the description box, but this is from Newsbreak. It says immigration officers assert sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. Memo says. Washington, federal immigration officers are asserting sweeping power to forcibly enter people's homes without a judge's warrant, according to an internal immigration and customs enforcement memo obtained by the Associated Press, marking a sharp reversal of long-standing guidance meant to respect constitutional limits on government searches. But guess what? When there's martial law, there is no constitution. All right, and this is what you're seeing. You're seeing a disregard for the so-called Constitution, in which the Constitution for Americans is what brings about order. All right, but once that's out the window, you're going to have nothing but confusion and disorder. Okay, it says the shift comes as Donald Trump's administration dramatically expands immigration arrests nationwide, deploying thousands of officers under a mass deportation campaign that is already reshaping enforcement tactics in cities such as Minneapolis. For years, immigrant advocates, legal aid groups, and local governments have urged people not to open their doors to immigration agents unless they are shown a warrant signed by a judge. That guidance is rooted in Supreme Court rulings that generally prohibit law enforcement from entering a home without judicial approval. The ICE directive directly undercuts that advice at a time when arrests are escalating, or Salakia, are accelerating under the administration's immigration crackdown. Okay, the memo itself has not been widely shared within the agency, according to a whistleblower complaint, but its contents have been used to train new ICE officers who are being deployed into cities and towns to implement President's immigration crackdown. Okay, the President's immigration crackdown. New ICE hires and those still in training are being told to follow the memo's guidance instead of written training materials that actually contradict the memo, according to the whistleblower disclosure. It is unclear how broadly the directive has been applied in immigration enforcement operations. The Associated Press witnessed ICE officers ramming through the front door of a home of a Liberian man, Garrison Gibson, with a deportation order from 2023 in Minneapolis on January 11th, wearing heavy tactical gear and with their rifles drawn. This is what's coming to you, Jakes, man. This damn devil, this cracker ain't gonna spare none of you, man. He's gonna come with fierce anger. He's gonna try to put as much hell on Jake as much as possible, man. And here it is, you know, you're going to your jobs and you're doing all these things as if nothing is happening in the background. All right, but they have sudden destruction. You know, the scripture says when there shall be peace, when they shall say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction cometh upon them, man. Like you think you're safe in your home? You think you're safe in your car or at your job? No, man, you're not safe, man. The Lord is coming and he's putting a spirit on these devils to fuck shit up. And it would behoove you now for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to repent and turn back to your power, man. Because that's the only way you're going to be covered, you know, from these things that are happening on the earth. It's the book of Zephaniah 2 and 3. It says, "Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. And the meek are the low of the earth." We are the low. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, which are the true biblical Israelites. We are the meek. We are the lowly, man. All right, it says, "Seek righteousness, seek meekness, and it may be you shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger." And the Lord is the one that's bringing his judgment, man. He's the one that's doing it. All right, and if you're not serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you're going to be taken up in this mess, man. Okay? Hey, so Lord willing, that's what's edifying. You know, it was a quick little hit, but we don't have much time. Our salvation is nearer than what we believe. Okay? It's nearer than what we think it is. Let me see if I have another precept here. Okay? Let me see if I can bring out Ezekiel 38 and 21. Okay, Salakia, bear with me. Okay, God. All right, let's grab the book of Zephaniah 1 and 14. Okay. The book of Zephaniah 1 and 14 reads, "The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly." Right. A lot of you so-called mighty men, you gangsters and you wanksters out there, man, you're going to cry bitterly in that day, man. Okay? The day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither silver nor gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And this is what the Lord is doing, man. He's bringing that judgment. And see, after this, you're going to have the chip. After the chip, you're going to have World War III. And then, you're just going to have nukes falling, raining on this fucking place, man. Burning up everything, everyone. All elements shall melt with fervent heat. So the time is coming closer and closer to the, to the end. And Lord willing, we be a part of the elect. I don't know if I'm a part of the elect. I'm just trying to, do my part, to secure my spot on the chariots, by bringing out this information and doing what the Father requires of me, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of my ability. All right, so with that, I praise that was edifying, definitely. And I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh, Shalom.